luxury travel stroller showdown you guys have been asking for. We have the Bugaboo Butterfly 2, the Joolz Aer 2, and the UPPAbaby Minu V3. Which one of these luxury travel strollers is right for you? We're gonna find out in this video. If you're new here, I'm Emily. I'm the stroller mom. I'm a mom of 3, a car seat passenger safety tech, and I provide honest reviews of strollers and baby gear as a mom who actually uses the products. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and shop through the links below. I cannot tell you how much this helps me to be able to make more videos just like this. Thank you so much for supporting the stroller mom. I have been waiting to do this video until the Joolz Aer 2 was released in the United States, and it is now here, and oh my goodness, guys, it is amazing. I have full reviews of all 3 of these really great travel strollers on my channel, so be sure to check those out because it will kind of go more in depth. We're going to stay more high level and focus on the differences between each of them to hopefully help you decide which one is right for you, because on paper there are a lot of similarities and it can be a little bit confusing. So let's start with price because that may be a big factor. So starting out with the Bugaboo Butterfly 2, this is one of the most expensive luxury travel strollers on the market. I think next to the Cybex Koya, it is the most expensive travel stroller, and it retails at $599. And what you get for that is the stroller as you see here. Now the accessories, and I'll put a table here of all the accessories lined up. The accessories on the Bugaboo Butterfly 2 are very expensive. Like if you want a snack tray, you're paying a pretty penny for that. So keep that in mind if you do want to go with this stroller, because it is on the more expensive side. Next, we have the Joolz Aer 2. This retails for $549, still expensive, and you get the stroller as you see here, as well as a dust bag, which is better for like storage or occasional, like if you're worried about like weather, things like that. Not necessarily the best for travel. There's no padding on it. And then you have the UPPAbaby Minu V3. This retails at $499.99, so $500, and you get the stroller as you see here. Now, I will say the accessories for these 2 strollers are just going to be a little bit more affordable. This is one of the only strollers that works with the UPPAbaby car seats, and their adapters are a little bit more affordable. So keep that in mind if you're an UPPAbaby mama. Now, all 3 of these strollers are incredible quality and have nice premium feeling materials. I mean, they better for the price tag, but you can definitely feel a difference in the materials on these strollers than some of the other competitors on the market. The UPPAbaby Minu V3 is Green Guard Gold. The other 2 are not. So while these 2 do not necessarily have the Green Guard Gold certification, they do test for a lot of the chemicals parents are concerned about, and you can check that out on their website. Now let's talk about handlebar, because the handlebar on the Joolz is the tallest. It has the tallest handlebar, so it's going to be really good for you taller parents. And then you have the Minu, which I actually think is nice because it's also got wider wheels on the back, so that'll help those of you with larger strides. And then the last one is going to be the Bugaboo Butterfly, so that's going to have the shortest handlebar. Moving on to canopies, you have peekaboo windows in both the UPPAbaby Minu, which is this roll magnetic, and then you have like a clasp here to hold it open, and then you do have one that's like a flip over here on the Bugaboo Butterfly 2. You do not have a peekaboo window in the Joolz. I actually just asked my Instagram community what they think, because if you're not already, come follow over there, what they think of the peekaboo window and not having one, and a lot of parents said it's a bigger deal for their full-size strollers. They don't mind as much for the travel strollers. It depends. I really like it for like the first 6 months of my baby's life, but it does have a mesh portion here on the canopy when you extend it, and when you use their Recline that's near flat, you would be able to see your baby in that scenario. So something to keep in mind. You have this nice mesh here. You have a nice canopy extension on both of these other strollers. With the Bugaboo Butterfly, you just want to pop that canopy up so that it is not close to your child's face. So while you do have a little bit more of an extension, I would only use that second extension if you have your child in like a reclined position, because otherwise it comes way too close to their face. But you can see you do have really nice coverage on all of these, with the best coverage being on the Joolz. Now, in regards to seat back, all 3 of these strollers have nice tall seat back with next to no difference between the 3. I mean centimeters. The UPPAbaby's maybe a tiny bit taller than the other 2, but the other 2 have slightly more upright seats. So if that's something that's important to you with your toddlers, it's going to be better going with the Bugaboo Butterfly or the Joolz Aer 2. Now, they all have no rethread harnessing, and they all have easy to use buckles. Something I love about the Bugaboo and the Joolz is they kind of stick out here, making it easier to find. And then you have just these 4 little clips that you can easily pop in on these ones. UPPAbaby still has a really easy buckle. You're just going to put it around your child, and then you can just clasp it here. It's 2 steps, and then you can easily tighten it. I will actually say UPPAbaby's is one of the easiest to tighten because you just pull here and here, and it tightens so smoothly. They're doing that in all of their new strollers. I just saw that on the cruise, and it is so easy to get your child in and out of. The Joolz Aer 2 has a unique method for doing that. It's actually under the seat, and there's 2 strings, but it just takes a little getting used to, and then the Bugaboo Butterfly you'll tighten here. So it's actually not bad. Overall, it's pretty easy to use and you have good adjustment there. You have calf supports on all 3 of these, which is so nice. You just move them up. They're all one-handed, so you don't have to have 2 hands to adjust the calf support, which is so convenient when you're holding like another child while you're trying to do that. You have lower footrests as well, with it being a little bit lower on the Minu. It's slightly higher, but I will say I have very tall 3.5 and 5-year-old, and they were still comfortable in the Joolz Aer 2. And then you have kind of a lower footrest. It's kind of in the basket on the Bugaboo Butterfly too. Now let's talk about the reclines, because this is one of the biggest differences between these 3 strollers. The UPPAbaby Minu V3 has a newborn recline that they advertise, and it is so easy. You just undo this mechanism in the back. It moves up and down, super nice, and then you have a lot of adjustment in the seat to get that good fit for your little one, including a second crotch buckle position. And then you do have this like fabric newborn nest mode that comes out from underneath the calf support, and you would use that until your baby's about 6 months old. And that's what you have here. You cannot use the UPPAbaby bassinet with this stroller because it has the newborn recline, which was something I loved about the Minu V2, but it is nice that they have it. And I will say having a newborn recline and just like less things to travel with is kind of nice on the Minu. The Joolz has a near flat, I mean like the European recline that we all have been asking for on the Joolz Aer 2. Now it is a zipper, which is a little annoying in having to recline it. And really it only bothers me when I'm having to deal with the car seat adapter, because then with the car seat, you need it to be a little bit more reclined than the upright position, and it just feels a little bit floppy to me. But in the newborn setting, I think it is really nice and you don't even notice it. Like, you do get used to what you have. You have mesh for added airflow, which is something you don't have on these other 2 strollers on the Joolz, which I really like. And then it also has that like newborn nest mode, which is mesh that comes out from under the seat. But something Joolz did really nicely is they actually have it so you can zipper it up when you're not in use. Something that's kind of bothered me on the UPPAbaby Minu V3 is like the fabric. It's like a lot of fabric and it kind of comes out and you have to play with it when you're not using it. So I think that that is a really cool selling point with the Joolz. Now the Joolz does not officially advertise a newborn recline. I just learned this because someone DM'd me on Instagram. Right out of the box, they recommend using their carry cot, which is so cool. This is the only stroller of these 3 that you can use like a bassinet carry cot with, and it is so nice. My husband actually took it apart and put the carry cot on it, and we were just so impressed with how intuitive everything in the Joolz design is. It's just, I mean, these are more premium strollers, and so it's nice to just have that like smooth transition of the 2, and I think that that is really nice. But this is a near flat recline. In Europe, it is approved for use from birth, so I will let you decide how you want to use it. And then the Bugaboo Butterfly 2 is perhaps the most confusing of these 3 because they advertise use from birth. They don't have the newborn like nest mode. It's 148, so it's the least reclined, and then you have the Minu, and then you have the Joolz. So they actually recommend you use it with a car seat. I talk more about this in my full video. It's confusing to parents. You get to decide what you want to do with that, but I will say the deepest recline is definitely going to be the Joolz. Now, all 3 of these strollers are compatible with car seat adapters, including the Bugaboo and the Joolz working with Nuna, Maxi Cozy, Cybex, and Kleck. And then on the UPPAbaby Minu, you're going to be able to work with UPPAbaby car seats as well as Nuna, Maxi Cozy, Cybex, and Kleck. I will say those other brands are going to be more expensive on the adapters for the UPPAbaby Minu, but all 3 of these strollers can fold with the car seat adapters attached, which is super nice and convenient. Also, all 3 of these strollers offer rider boards. So if you have an older sibling and you want to add a rider board, you can do that for all 3 of these as well. The brakes on all 3 of these strollers is very easy and flip-flop friendly. It's right here on the middle on the Bugaboo. It's in the middle on the Joolz. And then you have kind of this toggle system with the Minu with green for go and red for stop. So very similar there. And then into basket capacity, all 3 of these can hold a large diaper bag. I have put that in all 3 of them. You can hold 20 pounds on the UPPAbaby Minu V3 and then 17.6 pounds on the Joolz and on the Bugaboo. The basket is probably a little bit wider on the UPPAbaby Minu, but it does hold a little bit more weight as well. Now let's talk about the push on these strollers. The UPPAbaby Minu and the Joolz have been known for having really good pushes for travel strollers for a while now in their older versions as well. And the wheels are just a little bit bigger on the Joolz on the front, but they're a little bigger on the back on the UPPAbaby. I will say both strollers push very smoothly and can handle cobblestone. I think both of these, I mean, they're not all-terrain strollers, but I think they're gonna be able to go wherever your travels take you really nicely. The Bugaboo did recently make some updates to their frame, which make it a little bit less tippy, which is something that parents were really concerned about on the previous version, and I think it will still do really well on your travels. One last thing on the push, there have been comments made that the UPPAbaby Minu V3 and the Bugaboo Butterfly do have a little rattle when you push them. I have not noticed that on the Joolz, but I will say I have pushed all three of these strollers a lot with my kids, and it doesn't seem to affect the performance. Now, like we talked about earlier, all three of these strollers are overhead bin compatible with the IATA compatibility, but the lightest stroller is going to be the Joolz at 14.2 pounds, then the Bugaboo Butterfly at 16 pounds, and then 16.7 on the UPPAbaby Minu. All three of these have basically the same fold where you're going to press two buttons and then it kind of collapses in on itself and locks, and then that same thing for the Joolz, and then the same for the Bugaboo Butterfly. They are all basically the same to fold. Now, if you tuck in the footrest, you get a little bit more of a compact fold on the Joolz and the Bugaboo, and then you can see there that the smallest one is the Joolz, followed by the Butterfly, and then the UPPAbaby Minu, but they're all very similar. They do have carry straps built into them, so this one's in the seat, and it's nice and long on the UPPAbaby, and then the Joolz is super easy to find. It's like a stretchy strap. I've loved this for a long time, and now the Bugaboo has come in with a stretchy one, but it is definitely the hardest to find, so you're having to move around a little bit, but they're all super easy to carry with those carry straps, and it's gonna make it really nice, especially if you're living in the city and you need to carry these up and down like metro stairs. All three of these would do really well in that. One thing parents are always commenting on when I make videos of these three strollers is how much the Bugaboo Butterfly's fabric comes out. They do have a nice little snap here to kind of hold it in, but it might be a case to not do the light tan color because it might stain more, whereas you see these two both have more of a compact footprint front to back. Now to open it, you're just gonna pick up the stroller and lean back, and then it easily pops open, and it is, again, identical on every single one of these strollers. And you're ready to go. So who are each of these travel strollers best for? If you're looking for luxury but at the most affordable price point, you may want to go with the UPPAbaby Minu. If you have an UPPAbaby car seat or you're looking for newborn compatibility at a more affordable price point, the UPPAbaby Minu is the way to go. The quality, the push, the large basket capacity really make it a great option. The Joolz Aer 2, though, is another really good option from birth. You can use it with a carry cot. It has that near flat, what seems like a newborn recline. You have good storage, and then you have a great canopy. I do wish it had a peekaboo window, but I feel like the push and the near flat recline, as well as it being very comfortable for my toddlers, really make up for that. And then on the Bugaboo Butterfly, this is the most expensive of these three strollers, and it's hard to see what this one is doing better than these other two strollers. I still think if you decide that there's something you like about the Bugaboo Butterfly, it's still gonna be a nice option. It is a really nice premium feeling stroller. It is beautiful. I do like that it has a slightly more upright seat, but for the price tag and the fact that these others offer that deeper recline for better newborn compatibility, I don't know. It's probably not my top pick, but I still think it is a good option. Don't forget to subscribe and shop through the links below. Thank you so much for watching.